So pretty much from what I heard within Legit Blast or from MG Ability of Outbreak and Legit, uh, they're gonna remove Russian and Belarusian dancers from Outbreak Europe of this year, and pretty much like I think like I don't know. There was a lot of opinions. There's a lot of talk about this. I got heard this recently from eligibility. Go check out this video. It's pretty much on Outbreak Europe, and he gave his opinions and also like his thoughts of the matter because of the war still going on with between Ukraine and Russia, and I don't know how Belarus got into this. The thing is that I haven't been catching up on this whole news thing, so he made the decision to actually, remove them because him being the organizer, him making the shots basically that he wants to remove the Belarusians and Russians from this year's outbreak Europe, which is one of the biggest kind of like events in Europe, biggest Bboy events in Europe, and wants to remove them as for basically not attending this year. So like I knew this was sort of coming because when I heard about the war and heard about like what's going on within the culture from from the b-boys, how it affect them, because for those that don't know, like in Eastern Europe, the b-boy culture, and also like especially in like Belarus and Russia, like having their first ever like gold medalists in the Olympics within breaking, which is B-Boy Bumblebee, and also as well as Ukraine being kind of like the inspiration for so many B-boys and B-girls. Like they're almost like the pinnacle in a way. Their energy, their hunger, their style and everything, from Uzi Rock to B-Boy Robin to just a lot of these b-boys that kind of also inspire me to actually break as well. And it seems like of course the Ukrainians, they still going to the event, but what MGbility is kind of worried about is having the Russians and the Belarusians and all are under in one roof. And the thing is that I don't understand this decision, because that like these dancers I seen what was it recently? There was this battle in France. There's always battles in France. LCB battle, I believe, and it was B-Boy Kinder from Ukraine, and also B-Boy Grom from Russia, and like they were both dancing together. So like I don't, pretty much, and they won together, proving that there is unity within the culture. The thing is that there's nobody. I don't know now, and I could be wrong in some forts of all of it, but there is nobody within, at least from what I've seen from the Russians and the Ukrainians and all of that. They don't really care about the war. They're just normal people. They want to dance. They just want to escape. This is their way of escaping. And at the end of the day, I look at this in a human way, especially for many of my opinions, that the Belarusians and Russians and whatever your takes and your opinions about them is that they're still dancers. They're still human. They have nothing to do with the politics going around out there. And it's like I understand what MGbility's decision, but there's been a lot of callback about this. And I kind of like just saw it once and everything, so I'm not the best reporter for it. I'm not the best reporter for anything, but someone has to talk about this within the breaking culture, because no one else is making videos of it at all. So there was comments here. Bigo Campanita said Outbreak this year is an event reserved for Ukrainians. So I give my opinion. I will also be at the risk because it is a sensitive subject, and hate cannot be controlled. That's how I feel about it. And that's why I think that it is not correct decision. Leave the hatred in the comfort zone. It's not exactly protection of the Russian dancers. Like, exactly, pretty much. Like, what does this have to do? Yeah, reserved for only Ukrainians, but the Belarusians and Russians. And I get it's not a really big deal. There's dancers from all over the world that are top tier, and if anything, better. But it's like defeating the whole point. Like, what about the sense of like you, because isn't that what Outbreak stand for? Like peace, love, and unity, no matter what goes on out there, no matter what happens. But I get it. He's worried because maybe I would be worried too. That, for many dancers that are, from countries that don't get along with each other, there's a part of me where I probably don't matter because, that I would worry because that, at the end of the day, these are like, men in general, okay? Especially for the majority of dancers within the b-boy culture. Or, b-boy culture. The reason why I call it b-boy culture is because it's mostly men. And men that are like not getting younger. And men that actually have some kind of beef, especially with the Ukrainians, that some of them are somewhat against within, some Russian dancers, even though they're cool with them in the past, and I've seen Russians and Ukrainians been cool with each other within the b-boy culture for the longest time. And I never seen something like this in this year until now. And it's not even getting like better or anything. It's like, like there's when there's an end, it's like been stretched out for so long. It's kind of like just lost its pace. And I just don't, and of course, doesn't matter what people's opinions are. Legit Splash and MGbility, that's still their decision. And hey, that's pretty much, what they call for, especially what's going to happen in the event and whatever consequences happen. Not saying that there will be, happen. So, it is what it is. And pretty much, Funk Warrior said, wrong decision. If you are afraid people start a fight and be in a b-boy event, you should be banned all the country at risk. Not only Russia and Belarus is not equality, no peace and no love and having fun. Pretty much exactly that last equality. I said here the same thing about racism. It doesn't matter who's getting attacked racially. Like it's pretty much if you attack a black person, but also if you attack a white person, that's still racism, okay? That's still because you're attacking their skin and telling them like get out of here, you cracker. It's like that's still racism. I don't care what your political beliefs or something saying that all white people are the evil. No, that's still racism. That's you don't count for that. That's just not right. You don't actually make the calls of like what's racist and what's not racist. It's still racism. It's still dehumanizing other humans. And that's the thing. And I'm not saying like that's sort of the same effect here, but there's like no equality when you ban like Russians and Belarusians. That's kind of like unfortunate for them. And that's a practice that I don't want to see within other b-boy events, especially here in the US. I'm surprised the US, because the US was beyond pro-Ukrainian, okay? And US, Ukraine, like what kind of relationship do they have? Other than the b-boy culture, I believe within the culture in breaking, this is just me, that, in breaking, USA and Ukraine has a better relationship compared to whatever is going on politically, what Sleepy Joe is going on with, like how he has, freaking, grip for Ukraine as if he cares. Like, do you guys really care? Like pretty much it will be different from any other country, but all of a sudden when the war is coming, like, oh, USA wants to help, okay? Of course, that's just another opinion, but it's just like, like I get what MGbility is doing. I get, his decision and everything like that. And yeah, pretty much it's probably like, for the safety of the event. Understandable. Because of the tensions and the fact that it's in the Czech Republic, which is where the main event is. Of course, it makes sense. So, but other than that, like, it's still, it's kind of sad that, that's sort of like, because I'm kind of worried that this might be happening in all other, events as well. But, if the only thing that it would end, if only the war would end, if only, Ukraine and Russia, but of course we don't live in that world. I get it. We don't live in that world. But, I'm just like, hoping that it just like puts to a stop, a decisional stop. And if Ukraine can protect themselves and, but, good old, Piston, the president of Russia, like, is just, ruining it just for so many people, broken down so many relationships, broken down so many walls of just hatred around. And it's just a sad thing that is still happening over there in Europe. And I don't know really what, my decision, mostly, of course, I gave it mine. But I just don't feel like this would be the right call, especially maybe for me in a ways because I'm not in his position. I wouldn't know. But yeah, that's basically my opinions of what's going on in the matter, and pretty much. Will this will ever be resolved in a way? Will he make? Will he change his decision? Hey, it's up to him. I'm not pretty butthurt at all about Russians and Belarusians coming to dance, but I'm kind of like worried of like how this will affect in future events in the upcoming, because it seems like the war has been dragged too long, and it's like we just want to see these dancers, and of course the lack of equality. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. That's my opinions, and share it in the comments if you have an opinion. Other than that, one love, peace.